close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV. Welcome to my preview of Southampton versus Arsenal. Apologies in advance that the audio is going to sound shit. I ain't going to lie to you. It's going to sound absolutely terrible because I haven't got my microphone. A friend was going to lend me a microphone but hasn't been able to get it to me. But yeah, you'll have to make do with this sound quality. I'm just using the internal mic off my computer, so it's not going to sound great. But yeah, apologies for that in advance. A lot of you have been asking about the Brighton review. Now, obviously, as I've just explained, the microphone broke, so I wasn't able to do that. I will cover it in this Southampton preview, but I'm not going to spend an awful long time covering it because I do realize that once the time window passes for a review, it's not gonna be great. So I will touch upon it and cover that too. I also just want to draw your attention. It was released yesterday, the video that I've done with Goal. If you haven't seen it, please do head over there and check it out. I did post it in my community tab, so please go and check that out. I know some of you have watched it already. I've had some great responses, so thank you very much for that. Really, really appreciate all of you who's watched it. It's been a great response. Listen, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the Brighton game because I guess that's probably the easiest place to start because actually it was terrible. the first and foremost, it was terrible. Like, I was at that game. And I can't believe how shit we were in the first half. Let's be honest here. We were absolutely diabolical in the first half. We just couldn't string any passes together. We couldn't create anything. We just looked a team void of confidence. And actually, it was a missed opportunity because had we won, we would have, kept pace with Spurs. Listen, we're only 3 points behind Spurs. We could still possibly get top four. It's going to be difficult, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's going to be incredibly difficult. But yeah, it was terrible that first half. Second half, we brightened up a little bit, but I still don't think we created enough to even lay a glove on Brighton. And this is Brighton. They hadn't won a game. I think it's like in 6 or 7 games before they played us. And yet they hadn't scored a goal in those games either. Brighton are generally a team that struggle to score goals. I know we are at the moment, but Brighton are generally a team that struggle to score, and yet they scored 2 past us. Everything seems to be falling apart. I've said this, you've said this, we've all said this, that you break up that first 11, you break up our 11, you take a couple of key players out, like Tierney and Partey, and everything just falls to pot, doesn't it? Everything just falls to pieces. And we saw that on Saturday. And I blame Mikel Arteta for the way we played on Saturday, putting Granit Xhaka at left back, taking him out of the midfield when we've lost Thomas Partey. Listen, Granit Xhaka's not brilliant, and I've given my thoughts on Granit Xhaka. But you take him out the midfield and only have Lokonga there, because let's be honest, Odegaard and Smith Rowe won't be doing what Lokonga, Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey could do. But you take out those 2 players and only leave Lokonga as that lone midfielder. he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle against Brighton, as we saw, and he's going to struggle against any team because they're just going to pile in the midfield. They're going to put the players in there and just go, you know what, you sit on the conga, because they know that he's young, they know that he's inexperienced, and it's just not going to work, is it? Let's be honest. It's just not going to work. So, yeah, it was a bit of a disaster, an absolute disaster on Saturday, and I didn't expect it. I thought we'd see a little bit of a response after that Crystal Palace game, because we were absolutely dreadful in that game. And I thought we'd see a little bit more fight. I thought we'd see a little bit more desire, but we didn't. We saw none of that. What we saw was complete shit, to put it bluntly. What we saw was complete and utter shit. And I don't really know where else to go with the Brighton review. It was just an horrendous afternoon. It really is. It really was, sorry. But yeah, listen, we've just got to dust ourselves down, move on. Listen, we got Southampton, which leads me nicely actually into previewing the Southampton game. We've got to get back to winning ways. Listen, we're 3 points behind Spurs. We can still get top four. Listen, it's going to be incredibly difficult because when you look at Southampton, they've not won a game recently. They're off the back of that 6-0 thrashing by Chelsea. So they're going to be up for it. They're going to be low on confidence. Actually, it's going to be an interesting game because it's two teams low on confidence. Who's going to come out? Historically, we don't do well at St Mary's because Southampton always seems to turn up against us. But listen, we need a win. We need the 3 points. We need to get back to winning ways. We need to get some confidence back into this team. Because when you look at the games ahead of that, when you look at who we've got after Southampton, and I don't want to overlook Southampton because they're an opposition that we have to take them seriously. But when you look at the teams that we're playing after Southampton, we've got Chelsea on Wednesday, we've got Man United on Saturday. Those two games are going to be massive. Those two games are going to be season defining. Apologies if you can hear my phone in the background. I forgot to mute it before I started recording. But those two games are going to be massive. Those two games are going to be massive, aren't they? They're going to be incredibly massive. And I don't think we can take 6 points out of those games. Listen, Chelsea are going to be, it's going to be a difficult proposition. Man United, possibly we might be able to get a win there because Man United are awful at the moment. But you just never know. So we need to get 3 points on Saturday, tomorrow. We need to get the 3 points. And actually, this week, when you think about it, this week is going to be the defining week. If we're going to get top four, we're going to need to take 9 points out of the next 3 games. And I know it's a big ask. It's a massive ask. And we might not do it. And we probably won't do it. But we need to take 9 points out of these 3 games. Because if we're going to have any chance of finishing in that top 4, we need to put as much pressure as we can on Tottenham. Listen, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. Tottenham have got Brighton, then they got Brentford, then they got Liverpool. They're not going to be easy games. I'd imagine that they've got enough to get past Brighton. Listen, Brentford is a tough opposition. And then obviously Liverpool, they're still fighting for the title. So that's going to be no easy game for them. So listen, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. I've always said, and I stand by what I said, it's going to come down to whoever wins that North London derby. I can see a situation where we're both in a position when it comes to that North London derby, and it's whoever wins that North London derby will go on and finish top 4. And I still genuinely believe that. I think it's gonna come down to that. And we always knew it in our heart of hearts, didn't we? As Arsenal fans, we always knew that it was going to come down to that North London derby. But listen, we'll just have to get the job done tomorrow. We have to get the job done tomorrow, and then we can look at Man United, Chelsea, and then further afield we can look at Tottenham. And we can't really bank on Tottenham dropping points. We've got to do our own business. We've got to get our own house in order before we can look at other teams doing us favours. But it is what it is. Can we get the win tomorrow? Team news. I have watched the press conference and it's not looking great, is it? Lacazette's apparently out with illness. He might be back. Thomas Partey's definitely ruled out for the rest of the season. That obviously hasn't helped our cause, which makes it even more stupid why you would take Granit Xhaka out of the midfield and put him at left back when we actually have a recognised left back. This is where Arteta lets himself down, because you brought in a left back to cover for Kieran Tierney, and then Kieran Tierney gets injured and you put Granit Xhaka in there, a midfielder. You weaken your midfielder to strengthen a left back position when you've already got a recognised left back. That makes no sense. But listen, we all know that Arteta comes out with decisions that makes no sense. But it is what it is. So, yeah, those are the bits of team news. And it's going to be interesting to see how we cope with that for the rest of the season. I'm going to get into my lineup now, who I think will play. Obviously, Tomiyasu's still out, so he's not back. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go with Ramsdale in goal. I'm going to go with Cedric at right back, Gabriel and White as the central pairing. I'd like to see Tavares in that left back position because I don't think we've got any other option. I don't want to see Granit Xhaka there, but knowing Arteta, he probably will put Granit Xhaka there. The midfield, I'd like to see Granit Xhaka and Lokonga. I think that's the best option. It's the only option we've got now. Then I'd like to see in that forward advanced position. I'd like to see Odegaard. I don't want to see Odegaard and Smith Rowe in the same team because it doesn't work. It's got to be one or the other. And right now I'm going to go with Odegaard. If that doesn't work, then hook him off at half-time and put Smith Rowe there. But I don't want to see them both play together. Now, the forward line. So if Lacazette's injured or out with illness, I would like to see Pepe on the left, Martinelli down the centre, and Saka on the right. It's not going to happen. Arteta's going to put Nketiah down the middle. We all know that. But I'd like to see Pepe on the left, Martinelli down the centre, and Saka on the right. Just try it. What have you got to lose? Just try it. I think Lacazette's been in the team long enough to show us what he can do, and he hasn't done nothing. Same with Nketiah. He's not taken his opportunity. So I don't want to see that. I want to see Martinelli. At least Martinelli works. So put him into that central position. Bring Pepe into the side, who actually has looked decent every time he's played in the last couple of games. And this half of the season, he's looked pretty decent since he's come back from the African Cup of Nations. And then obviously Saka, we know what Saka can do. He's brilliant. So that's what I would do. Let me know your team lineup down in the comment section below. Really appreciate you guys' support. And I really enjoy reading all your comments. So do leave them down there. Smash the like button on this video. Like I said at the top of this video, do go and check out that video that I've done with Goal. That is out now. So please go over there and watch it if you haven't already. I will be back with a review for the Southampton game tomorrow evening. I'll drop it. So do look out for that. Probably about 9 p.m. The same time as this preview. So I'll be dropping it. I'll be dropping it then. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully we can get the 3 points tomorrow at St. Mary's. And then we move on to Chelsea. Listen, thank you guys for watching. Catch you all soon.